Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you are here. And if you are new, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad that you landed on my channel. And I hope that you will already consider subscribing to this amazing community. If you are new, please drop your state or country where you're coming in from so I can say hello to you and welcome you officially to my channel. So if you're new, my name is Barbara. I live in Tennessee in Zone 7B. And welcome to my kitchen. So today, y'all, I thought I would do like a summer recap of how the summer garden. Now, I know that technically we're still in the summer, but for all intents and purposes, I know how things have gone in my garden, what went well, what did not go well, and I already have calculated a list about what I'm gonna do different next season. And so I invite you to come along with me as we shell some purple whole peas and have a chit chat about the summer garden and how things are went. And I would love to know how things went in your area. So as I'm talking and kind of going through how things went for me, I would love to hear if you had a similar experience or something worked good for you that didn't work good for me. And also I want to know, what are you already planning to do different next summer? So one of the reasons why I named this channel A Gardener's Journey is because it truly is a gardener's journey, y'all. You are literally seeing up close and personal my gardening journey. I wish I would have started this when I first started gardening, which was back in 2020. But I did not. I actually started this channel, I think, in 2021 or 2022. I can't even remember now. I think it's 2022. Anyway, I was already into my gardening journey, so you missed the first couple of years. But every time I show up on this camera, I'm just taking you along for my gardening ride. What I'm learning, what I'm not learning, what I'm learning, what's not going well, what is going well. And if you've been here from the beginning, you've seen me evolve over time, like try new things, do things different. And as you continue to watch, you'll continue to see that, because that's what it is. It's a journey. And so I've said before earlier this season that when it came to the summer garden, if I look back over the last 5 years, and I really don't even want to count year one, because that's like the learning year, right? You know, I still had food, but I didn't know anything. And now I just know a little bit. But this summer definitely has been one of the worst gardening years in terms of productivity for us. Now, I say that in comparison to what we've had the last 2 years. It is not, I'm not saying it in a way to complain. I'm not saying it in a way to act like we didn't get any food. We got plenty of food this summer. But compared to what we got the last 2 years, it definitely was one of the more challenging summer gardens for sure. And I won't belabor the point, because I've talked about it kind of all summer long about what I think some of the reasons are. Some of it's weather related, and then some of it has a big old question mark. I don't know what it was. I have no idea. I am hopeful and concerned at the same time, because of course, as a gardener, at least for me, you're always thinking, do I know what I'm doing? Like, can I grow food? Like every year I start my seeds, I'm like, are these seeds gonna grow? Even though I've had success with growing my own seedlings, even though right now I have a shelf with some fall seedlings on it, I still question myself and lose confidence easily when it comes to gardening. I don't know if that's just me or if that's you as well. And so I was out in the garden this morning, I was looking through everything, and I was kind of just like silently praying to the Lord. I'm like, Lord, I don't know what happened this. I'm like, why did my stuff not do good? Like what? And of course the Lord reminded me that, you know, it's never about me. It's always about him. He's the one that's blessing the land, the soil, my hands, and all of that. And so I don't take any credit for any success that I've had. But as I was praying, I was just like, Lord, I don't understand. And it's one thing to know why your garden didn't do as well as you wanted. And then you have a plan to fix it. But it's a whole nother thing to not know why it didn't go, because you don't even know what to fix. And so I was just kind of like, okay, Lord, am I going to have anything in the fall? Like, are my fall vegetables going to grow, or am I not going to have anything? Like, is it going to get worse from here? And of course, that's nothing but negativity. That's nothing but the enemy trying to cast doubt. But I declare in the name of the Lord that I will have some food this fall. And I declare that for you too. So if you believe that, just say amen while we step in these purple whole peas. Okay. So anyway, and let's pause, commercial break. So this is my purple whole peas. And again, this is a classic example of things that didn't go quite as planned. Normally with purple whole peas, like I am doing peas every single week. I have big old baskets of purple hull peas, and we grow enough to literally last us for a whole year. We've done that for the last 3 years, literally. This year, we don't have enough to last us a whole year. Right now, I am trying to conjure up a gallon size bag. I have about a half to maybe 3/4 of a gallon bag, and this will probably take me to the gallon, but that's it. That is probably in reality like 2 servings of purple hull peas. There's still some out there, but they're coming so slow that I don't think with the time that's left in the summer that I'm gonna even have enough that's gonna make us for a whole year. That's very disappointing, because purple hull peas is one of my favorite vegetables to grow in the summer garden, because again, I love them so much. It's one of my favorite things. And it's just, I mean, when you want like a good old Southern country meal, I mean, you gotta have some peas on the table or something, right? Right. Okay, my little pea popped out. I gotta save every little pea that come out this pod, because I don't have but a few. But I am thankful for the ones that I do have. But let's kind of talk about the summer garden. And I made some notes just so that I wouldn't forget. And y'all know I try to be as organized as possible. So let's talk about some things that I felt like went well in my summer garden. And I just jotted down a few things, and I'll try to remember some other stuff as we're kind of going along. But one of the things that I was very pleased with, and I haven't seen the fruit of it the second time, but the fact that we were able to get in 2 successions of corn, I didn't even think about that or contemplate that. That just kind of happened when my corn was ready, and I was like, you know what, I wonder if I could do this again. But I did have a successful corn harvest, so that is a huge win. This is my first time really, like for real, growing corn the way that I did. Like, it was successful, and it tasted, so I said tasted because we just ate the last of it this weekend. Already it's gone. It was so good. And I realized you got to grow a lot of corn to have a lot of corn to put up for the year. So this second succession, for all intents and purposes, is looking great. It's looking good. So hopefully I will have just as much success as I did for the first. But that is definitely something I will plan for next summer, is to have 2 successions of corn. And I'm contemplating growing even more, like the whole 100-foot row instead of like just 25 feet of the row, just because I realize it takes a lot of corn to have enough for the whole year, or even like the summer ain't even over and I'm already out of corn. Like, that stuff was so, when I tell you that corn was so good, it could have won some awards. It was so good. Okay. But the corn is gone, but we have another succession going. So that definitely went well. So I was very, very thankful for that. And that definitely gave me some confidence that, okay, girl, you can grow some corn. You can grow some corn. Yes, you can. Okay, I'm looking at my notes. What else? Oh, another thing that went well, I think, was definitely planning and being intentional about having 2 successions of potatoes. So we did potatoes in the spring. We did Yukon Gold and we did Russet. And so now you guys saw me just about a week ago, I planted a fall round of potatoes, and we did Yukon Gold and Red Adirondack. So I like that cadence. I like that plan. I think that works really, really well. And so I will definitely be doing that intentionally next summer. And then another thing, even though we planted them in the spring, we harvested in the summer were our onions. Overall, you know, we tried a new variety along with what we always do. And my onions were not as big overall, but we definitely had way more onions than we did last year. If you remember last year, we planted about 400 onions. We got about 250 because the rest got choked out by weeds. Well, this year, based on where we planted and the things that we did differently by doing it in raised beds and not in the ground in that one spot, worked out to our favor. So that was definitely a win and a blessing. So I'm very thankful for that. I did try some new crops this year. And I do new crops every year. And I encourage you as a gardener, even if you're new, is to always do something new. You know, and it's amazing to me, like after 5 years, like there's some things that I'm like, this is the only variety I'm doing from here on out, because I've tried all the things, I've done all the ways, And this right here is consistent. It works. And so let's just go and keep rocking with it. But at the same time, I'm always trying new stuff, because you never know when you might find your new favorite, right? So like when it comes to carrots, I've tried all those rainbow colors. I've tried all the different varieties, cosmic purple. I've done all that. But if I want some carrots that my family gonna eat and we're gonna have in the refrigerator and it's gonna be consistent, it's gonna be Bolero. That is the carrot that works for me. Pelleted Bolero, like ain't going back. Now, will I try another one if y'all tell me, hey, let's try it? Yeah, I'll try it. But you better believe that Bolero is gonna be in that garden, taking up the majority of the space. So I say all that to say, you may have your tried and true varieties. As you continue to grow your garden, you'll find out what works for you and what you really, really like, but never be afraid to try new stuff. So a couple of things that I tried this year was a new pepper called the Ahi Crystal. And I really like it. Now, it's not prolific. At least it has not been prolific for me. But I don't necessarily need 100 of those. And so I was okay with it not being prolific, because, I mean, it's good enough for me. But I like the fact it's like a, it's spicier than a jalapeno, but it's not as hot as a habanero. And it has like a sweet citrus. No, that's more like the Sugar Rush Peach. It's like a spicy, but not overpowering. It's like a good spicy. Like one of the things I always say about cayenne, like I don't like the flavor of cayenne. Now cayenne has health benefits, but when I'm seasoning food and I want some spice, I never pull for cayenne, because to me, cayenne is just hot without flavor. And so I'm not a big fan of cayenne for that reason in terms of spicing up food. This to me was spice with flavor. It's the best way I know how to say it. So if you want to try it, Ahi Crystal, I got it from Baker Creek. Definitely put that on your list to try. So I did like that. Another one that I tried this year for the first time was cinnamon basil. I did like that. It was a great, I felt like pest deterrent. Where I had it, I had some eggplants surrounded by the cinnamon basil. It seemed to do well. It smells great. It grew well, grew prolific. Now, shame on me. I have not harvested any to bring in the house at all, because I just haven't. And so I need to. But trust me, my husband, he's sitting on the other side of his camera doing something and he laughing at me. But anyway, I don't have no other reason. I just haven't done it. Because, you know, when it comes to the garden, there's priorities, right? Y'all know the priorities is harvesting this food. That's the priority. Cinnamon basil, I got plenty of it out there. So I'll get me some before it's all said and done. But tell me what y'all doing with the cinnamon basil. Are y'all making tea? What y'all doing? Let me know. Give me some ideas. Okay, so what else? Okay, so cinnamon basil was good. Holy basil, I tried that for the first time. It grew well. I haven't harvested any, and I do need to. And I very much intend on harvesting the holy basil, or Tulsi is what it's called, because I've heard it has amazing health benefits. It's very medicinal, and I've heard that it tastes great. Now, I know taste is relative. Some of y'all be talking about it tastes great are the same ones who told me beets taste great. Okay? If you know, you know. Y'all know how I feel about beets. Y'all know how I feel about beets. But your girl is going to grow some beets this fall. At least I'm going to try. If beets would just get on my side, if they would just be filled with the power of the Holy Spirit and grow for me, that would be fantastic. Y'all, in 5 years, I have not grown one beet. I don't know what it is about that root crop, but it's like, sis, we not, you done talked about us so bad. We are not playing with you. We ain't even finna put no energy into this. Oh my goodness. I just cracked myself up. That's probably why they're not growing. They're like, you done talked about us so bad. Girl, please, bye. We not about to grow for you. But anyway, we're gonna try again. We're gonna try it again. What else, y'all? Marigolds. My marigolds popping. They did very well, y'all. I grew a lot of marigolds. I sold a ton of marigolds. I probably sold 100 marigolds. If you don't know, yeah, I do seeds that we sell. It's really just whatever my excess is. And I intentionally grew some seeds to sell as well. But those marigolds are a great seller. But I sold a ton, and I have a ton in my garden, and they still look great. They look amazing. Now, did they do their job all the time? I don't know. But maybe I should have had them more strategically placed. But anyway, overall, they did good. And then the Oklahoma variety of zinnia. Really, really, really love the Oklahoma as its salmon. Still going strong in my garden. No disease, no bug pest, no nothing. It looks great. So definitely will be doing that variety again. So those are like kind of some highlights of things that I felt like went well. And I'm just kind of going back through all my spaces to see if I missed anything so far. I don't think so. Other things that didn't go well, you guys have already heard me talk about that. And then of course we just had some standard stuff. But let's talk about what I'm gonna do different. And I think one of the things that I want to encourage is that if you are a new gardener or if you're a veteran gardener and this was not a good season for you, there's always another season. There's always another season, right? And so I'm speaking to you as well as I'm speaking to myself as well as I'm speaking to you, because like I said, I had my little mini pity party in the garden this morning. Like, Lord, what's going on? Like, am I a real gardener? What's really happening here? My stuff ain't looking good. And I'm just reminded that, first of all, it ain't about you, number one. But number two, there's always another season. And that is, I don't know if you want to call it the beauty of the garden, but it is the state of the garden. That's why I say it's a journey, because some things are going to do well, some things are not. You're going to have good seasons, and sometimes you're not. And so I think it's important to go ahead and catalog, document, cry about it, talk about it. This one didn't go well, but also say, okay, this is what I'm going to do different. This is what I didn't do that I'm going to do next time. Right. And so I always try to take every opportunity as a learning opportunity. I try to not wallow in pity or have a pity party. I try not to play the guilt game, blame game, and stay there and sit there. But okay, it didn't work. What we're going to do different next time. So one of the things, numero uno, that I'm going to do next time, and I'm saying it all bold. I'm saying it bold now. But come next June or next April, I know somebody going to remind me if I renege. I know somebody is. But I'm going to go and put it out there. That is, your girl not doing no squash and zucchini at the first of the summer. It cured me, y'all. It cured me. I'm tired of them squash bugs, pests, vine borers. Like, I'm sick of them. And so what I'm going to try next summer is I'm going to do my green beans first. And then I'm going to do my squash and zucchini last. I'm going to flip it around, because y'all know I start off with squash and zucchini, and then I just start doing green beans wherever I have open spaces, right? So green bean is like act like the stepchild. Well, green beans about to get promoted. They're about to get promoted. They are going to be first. And then when I'm starting seeds, I'm going to tell y'all when to start your squash seeds. We're going to do the little weekly seeds start and all that. And I'm going to tell you, this is the week to start your squash seeds. But your girl, I'm not going to be starting them, because I'm sick of them. I'm sick of the pests and the bugs. And what I've heard is that if you grow them, towards the fall, the squash bugs and the vine borers are gone, and you don't have to worry with that. Now we're going to see, because I have some squash seedlings right on in there on my tray. And so when they're ready to go out, which should be in another week or two, I'm going to put them out, which will be like towards the end of August. And we're going to see if they do well. If they do well and I don't have to deal with those pests and they do better, then I'll know. And that's what we're going to do next year. If for some reason they don't do well and I still have pests, we're going to see if it's less pests. I don't know. Now, I'm not saying I'm not going to do squash and zucchini at all. What I'm saying is I'm not going to be doing it at the beginning of the summer, because I already got proof and evidence that it only works for a little bit. And then you got to pull that stuff up. So that's my declaration number one. The other thing I'm going to do different, I'm looking at my list, is I want to plant more beans next year. So normally I do purple whole peas and that is it. But next year, I want to plant black beans and pinto beans along with my purple hull peas. And the reason why is because we eat black beans. Now my husband, he don't eat pinto beans, but I love pinto beans. And you know how when you get married, you stop cooking certain things because your spouse don't like it, it just don't even make sense. Well, pinto beans coming back. Okay? I don't know if y'all can hear my husband. He is over here behind his camera. He's supposed to be minding his business, but clearly he minded my business because he was like, psh, pinto beans is coming back. It is on my plate. And he don't know it. It's going to be on his plate. It's going to be on his plate too. Oh my goodness. I got a friend who told me some pinto beans is so 1980. No, it's not. It's gonna be in the year of our Lord 2026. Okay. So if you like pinto beans, say it down below. Let me know, because all the pinto bean haters just don't grow them in your garden. Okay, but they're gonna be in mine. So I want to do pinto beans next year, and I want to do some black beans. So I got to allocate some space to these beans. And I've never done those before, so I want to try. So that's going to be next year. What else? Okay, so, I couldn't hardly read my writing. Okay, so the next thing is next year, I want to make sure that all the Roma tomatoes that I do are determinate varieties. And that's what I always do, but this year I bought some Roma tomatoes from a nursery, and they are clearly indeterminate, and I put them in my raised beds, and they're doing actually okay, but they need to be trellised. But of course, they're in a raised bed. I'm not about to build no trellis for that. So I just need to make sure that they're all determinate varieties. But I did like having the Romas in my bed in the tunnel. And normally I just do them in the back of my house, but I want to do more paste tomatoes next year for sure, and less cherry tomatoes. Let me say it for the people in the back. I want to do more paste tomatoes next year, less cherry tomatoes. Why is that? Because paste tomatoes I can use better and more in sauce, in tomato soup, and things like that. Versus the cherry tomatoes, you can use that in that, but it gets real watery. And really, I prefer to just have the cherry tomatoes for salads. And the amount of cherry tomatoes I grow, y'all, I would have to eat salad, for every meal, and then eat 7 meals a day to use up all those cherry tomatoes that I'm growing. So we're gonna do our ratios a little bit different. Less cherry tomatoes, and then more paste tomatoes for sure. I want to have more paste, then slicing tomatoes, then cherry tomatoes. For me, I think that would work out a lot better. And then y'all, I definitely need more tomatoes to make it a little bit longer. So I told you this morning I was having a little pity party. And so I had to come in the house. I said, now, maybe, just maybe, last year it was this bad and I just don't remember. So because I'm on YouTube, I got document. I got receipts. I went and found my August video from last year around about this time. And y'all, no, it was better last year. It was definitely better. I had not pulled out my tomato plants at this time last year. Garden was full of tomato plants. I did have some disease, but I had a ton of tomatoes. So my recollection serves me correct. It was a better year last year. So I would prefer to have way more tomatoes. Now, with all of that being said, y'all, I have 16 quarts of spaghetti sauce, 16 or 17, which is probably enough to last us for a year because we don't eat spaghetti a ton. We may have spaghetti itself, because I'm not a big spaghetti person, but it's a quick and easy meal. We may have spaghetti once every 2 months, once every 2 months. But we eat more lasagna than we do spaghetti, but we probably have lasagna maybe once every 6 weeks, right? So that will be enough to get me through, because I've had less than that and I've made it, and that's the only time I really use the spaghetti sauce. So we were able to meet the main and primary need. But I really this year wanted to try diced tomatoes, and I wasn't able to try those because I don't have enough tomatoes to do that. And I wanted to make, I wanted to can barbecue sauce, but I didn't have enough tomatoes. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do different on the tomatoes. And then lastly, a few more. I want to do a second round of flowers if I can. So, but here's the thing, y'all. Once I start all those seeds and I start planting stuff out, I don't be want to start no more seeds. So that's more of a ideal. The likelihood of that happening, probably not. And I'm just in a second round of flowers because like I've pulled out a lot of my flowers now, but I love flowers. So I would love to still have the garden full of flowers until the very last moment, until the first frost. But for me to start some zinnias right now and sunflowers, I mean, I could, but by the time they start to bloom, it's going to be time. I'm not going to be able to enjoy them that long. So if I had some that I put out like maybe a month ago, that would have been ideal. So I'm just saying that's what I want to do. Whether or not I'm going to do it is a different story. Now, when it comes to peppers, I want to be more strategic about the peppers that I'm growing and how many. So like I got a lot of serranos. I don't need that many serranos. And serranos produce, like you can get a lot off one bush. So I think next year, one, I want to grow them in the GREENSTALK, maybe, potentially. But even if I do a raised bed, like I only need a couple of plants and that's it. I don't need 4, 5, 6, because I just don't need that many serranos. I still have serranos left from last year that are in the freezer, and then I still have some that I freeze dried. Now, obviously the freeze drying is a good way to use them because you'll have them in storage and they'll last for 20 plus years. So it's not like it's a waste, but I don't necessarily need as many as I'm doing. I could stand to do more cayenne, less serrano, so I can make cayenne powder. I think that would be good. And then when it comes to bell peppers, definitely making sure I have more bell pepper production. This year again was just, when I say a bust, not nearly the pepper production that we've had in the past. But last year was a banner bell pepper year because I still have 2 gallon-sized bags of peppers from last year's summer garden that I actually want to freeze dry, so that way they won't be in the freezer getting freezer burned. But I think I'll freeze dry those, that way I can have them to kind of keep. So that's what we'll do about that. The other thing that I want to do different is, y'all, I want to plant more eggplant. I know, shocker, because y'all know I'm not an eggplant girl for real. But I have discovered how to make baba ganoush, which is a eggplant dip. Y'all, I made some a few days ago. If y'all want that recipe or want to see me make it, let me know. I'll do a video on it if I get some more eggplant. I might have to go to the store and buy some just to show you. But when I tell you it's good. If you like hummus, you'll love baba ganoush. It's like a Mediterranean eggplant dip. It is so, so good. It was my first time having it. I saw it last summer, somebody making it. I was like, well, I want to try that. And so I made it. I love it. I want to grow eggplant just for that. So next year, I want to grow more eggplant for sure. And then next year, I need to work on on my labeling. Like I label good when the seeds are started, but then as they start to get up, potted, transplanted, and then put out in the garden, I still like there's some stuff that I'm like, where is it? Like my Anaheim peppers, I know I had some, but somehow it is not labeled wherever it is. And so I don't know if I've counted it as something else. I have no idea. Now my son outside the door cutting the grass. We ain't gonna complain. We're gonna let him cut the grass. I don't know where my Anaheim is. And because I've never grown it before, I don't know what the shape is supposed to look like. Because I think one time I thought the Serrano was Anaheim. You guys said, no, that's Serrano. So I don't know where it is. And then I also tried some new tomatoes, Cherokee Carbon. I don't know what those are. I've harvested them, but I didn't know that's what they were. And so it's hard for me to document if something went well or not, because things were not labeled. My planting crew, I don't know what happened with some of the labels, but that's okay. We'll just do better next time. I'm sure not complaining because I sure appreciate their help. Y'all look, just like that. Y'all made this go by so much easier and faster, which I didn't have very many, but it went by fast because I was able to talk to you guys. So that's kind of my list. That's all I had. I went through all my notes on my list about what I want to be different. What I want to hear from you guys is, what is one thing that you're going to do different in next summer's garden? And then also, what new seeds are you going to try for next summer's garden? As people tell me stuff, I have a list that I keep on my iPhone about new seeds to try. So I've already compiled a list of things that I want to try. That was a green bean, not a purple whole pea in the wrong bucket. But I've compiled a list of things that I want to be different, or seeds that I want to try that are different, I should say. So you got some immediate homework. 1, what are you going to do different? 2, what is one crop that you have not heard me say that I grow that you want me to try for next summer that you're like, Barbara, you'll like that. You need to try that. Let me know down in the comments below. And then other people can see the comments and they can add it to their list as well. And so although I'm the one doing the video, we all get a chance to benefit because we could just, stalk them comments and get ideas about what went well, what didn't go well, new things to try for our summer garden. And I know when we talk about 2026 summer garden, you feel like, man, that's so far away, but y'all know we're going to blink and it's going to be here. It's going to be here. But overall, y'all, I hope that you've had a great summer gardening season. We still have, I guess a month or so, 6 to 8 weeks to go. So it's not over by no stretch of the imagination. But for me, the stuff that I talked about is all the stuff that I planted like in April or May. And so the jury is already out. We already know how it's done per se. So I thought it would be good to kind of just recap as looking towards the fall, but also planning the summer. Now, if you have not given this any thought, I do encourage you to think about this. And like, as I think of stuff, especially when I'm out in the garden, I put notes on my phone so that I remember, especially seeds that I want to try or things that didn't go well, things like that. And I encourage you to do the same, because if you don't document it, write it down somewhere or capture it, when it comes time for next spring, you're going to forget what really happened last summer. So definitely make sure that you take a moment to really recap for yourself what went well this summer, what you want to do different, what you want to try, and all those things. So y'all, we got some purple whole peas, not very many, but that's probably, I don't know, a cup maybe. A cup, but that's 1 cup that we didn't have. And I can cook this up and give me some cornbread. That's a meal. That's a meal. You better believe it. Y'all, thank you so much for joining me today. I feel like I was just sitting at home and you were across the counter or across the table, and I was just chatting with my friends. So I hope that you felt the same way. Remember, y'all, this is all a journey. If you have not subscribed, I hope that you would subscribe to the channel and just come hang out with me in my kitchen, in my garden, anytime that you choose. Remember, y'all, this is a journey. Let's do it together. I'll see you next time, friend.